Hi everybody, welcome back. Now we're on to, well, part 2 of this ballasting and weathering the track here. So we're going to take a closer look at it now. It's been a few days, so it has dried, it has hardened off, but let's have a closer look at it and see what we need to do. So there we go. There's all the ballast in place now. And it's all nice and hard. It's been actually about, let's see, 3 days, so it's dried. As I pointed out in the last video, there's a couple little places here where when I was applying the ballast and the glue in that, some of it moved. So first thing I'm going to do is clean the track, run some trains over it to make sure everything's working all right, and then we'll have a look at fixing these little bits, and then we'll go on to the weathering. So let's get the track cleaned and some trains running. So for the track cleaning, again, it's just the Pico rubber and clean the tops of the rails. That's all I'm going to do. Give them a good clean, and then I'll run some trains over them. Now I'll just make sure everything is working okay and there's no other issues I need to address before I do some repairs and further weathering. There we are, I think that'll do. Right. Let's get the controller connected and let some trains run. Right, I've set the trains going now. We'll just see how they go over now. Do they derail? Do they stop? And then we'll have a look to see if there's any issues. Here we got the 125 coming over. No issues there so far. It's gone through okay. Now we've got the Class 57 coming through with the rake of hoppers. One thing I forgot to mention in the last video I done is after I do the ballasting and it's all wet, I like to get an old wagon, especially one with deep flanges, and run it up and down the track just to move any of the stones out of the way that might be stuck to the inside of the rail. That helps clear them off. Someone also made a comment about ballasting points. The only tip I have with ballasting points is, one, be very careful, be very patient. You usually have to put like a thinner layer of ballast in between the moving blades, and you have to be a bit more careful with the glue, and it just takes patience. Yes, I have glued points together before, but because you're using PVA, a little bit of hot water will usually release the glue and free them up again. You just have to be careful with them. What I tend to do when I'm ballasting points is I'll do it on a day, a nice warm day if I can. I'll do it first thing in the morning, so every hour or so I can go in, move the points and make sure everything's working okay. And we just had the train come to a halt there for some reason, so I'm going to give the track a bit of another clean, because it might be just going around, it's pulled some dirt onto the track. So once it's passed through, I'll get the old track rubber on that section again. Because you do get spots of glue on there, and some of it can be quite difficult to move, and if you're not quite vigorous enough, oh yeah, I can see the track is actually a little bit dirty, so give it a bit of a better clean, and hopefully, yeah, ooh, and then just derail my 57. Now it's all going horribly wrong. So I'm not going to cut this bit out so you just see mistakes can be made. Right. We'll let that go round again and just see if there's any problems this time. I can see I have one of my hoppers has derailed. Right, here comes the 125 again, Class 43. It hasn't come to a halt. And my 57 has a derailed hopper and has a left part of its train behind. Totally my fault. So I'll bring that around, stop it, re-rail it, and then send it back on its way to try and pick up the rest of its train. Right, let's send it in reverse. This would also be a good test of the track as well, sending it the opposite way, because it might work fine in one direction, but does it work in the other? Because from where I'm stood now, I can't actually see. Oh. That doesn't sound so good. No, it just derailed again, so I must have another derailed wagon. Okay, I'm going to stop that there now, because I need to get over to the other side of the baseboard. Yeah, I can see the hopper's actually off, so I need to do some clambering about. So let's stop all the trains, and then we'll go about doing a couple of repairs on this. Okay, the trains are all parked over the other side of the layout now. Track power's off. That's always an important thing when you're doing anything on your layout. Switch the power off, because you don't want to be shorting out and damaging stuff. So what we're going to do here on this little patch here is I've got some just normal PVA and an old brush, and I'm just going to paint some PVA onto there. And then, so here's the bottle with the top on it from, I'm just going to use that just to pour some out and just leave that. And then what I'll do afterwards is, I'll just move that around a little bit. You gotta be very careful when you move it, because you can leave fingerprints and stuff in it. But I'm just going to leave that. Just leave it overnight, let it dry, and then come back with the vacuum and just vacuum up the excess, and that'll be it done. So I'm going to do, there's a few other little spots on where I've done. I'm going to go over that, and then tomorrow, once it's dried, we'll vacuum it off, and we'll carry on with the weathering of the track. So there we go, there's all the little bits of repairs done to the ballast. So what I'm going to do now is, well, I've already vacuumed it up and cleared it, so it's time to get the airbrush ready. And we'll do some airbrushing to help weather the track and the ballast. So here we have the airbrush. Now you might hear a bit of noise, the compressor kicking in every now and again, so I've got it switched on. I've put some airbrush cleaner and I've just run that through, because I haven't used this airbrush for a while, so it's just to make sure it's all clean, there's no dust or anything in there. I'm going to take the top off now. What I'm using is some sleeper grime. This is by Rail Match. I've given it a good shake already, so I'm going to just put a couple of drops in, because I won't need too much for this bit of weathering. So I'm just going to try and put a little bit in. That should be enough. If not, I can add some more. And now I've got some thinners. I've got some Tamiya acrylic thinners here. So also use the right type of thinner for whatever paint you're using. So if it's enamel thinners. And this is acrylic, so I'm just going to put, there's probably enough in there, just about a 50-50 mix. And I'm going to put the top back on. What I'm going to do is put my finger over the edge. I should force the air back through it. Like, hear it bubbling in there, so it's getting mixed up. And now I've got a sheet of paper here. Yeah, that's about how I want it. Oh, there goes the compressor kicking in. Right, let's move this over to the track and let's start airbrushing. Right, here we are at the track. So I'm just going to do this bit over the viaduct. Obviously, I don't want to get overspray onto the viaduct, so I'm going to use a little bit of paper there. I'm going to take the airbrush and I'm going to start off by going down the centre of the track. Just an up and down movement, just as lightly as possible, just so you get a rough idea how heavy you want the weathering. Now because this is an open track, there's not going to be too much oil or things on it because trains aren't going to be stopping along here. So you just want a light weathering. The great thing about this sleeper grime is it takes the shine off the sleepers, so they don't look as plasticky and they do look a bit more wooden, like your traditional wooden sleepers. And also just do a little bit along the side, just to sort of grubby up the ballast. So I'm just doing sort of a paper's width at a time. Oops, that should be the other way around. So I'll put the airbrush down and give you a closer look now. So if you see there now how you've got the weathering on the track and then the track over here that isn't weathered. You can just see how it helps blend the ballast in. And as I said, if you're not using the correct colour ballast, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be weathering it and you're going to be making it look darker anyway. So now I'm just going to carry on and do the whole lot, and then I'll come back and show you when I've got it done. There we go, there's the weathering done now. I may go back over it and do a little bit more on it once the scenery's in place to help it blend it all in a little bit better. I sort of went a bit heavier down this end and sort of gradually a bit lighter as we went up this end. There will be sort of a couple of small huts in here and some grass and bushes, and the same up this end where I'm going to have the webcams to hide the webcams. So that hasn't turned out too bad. It really does take that plasticky look away from the rails and make it look a bit more realistic. You know, adding a bit of dirt and everything to it as well. So it'll come into its own more as you add more scenery to it now, but that hasn't turned out too bad. So it's great to get a little bit of work done on the railway. So there we go, guys. That's a bit of weathering done now on the track there. As I say, it does bring it to life a little bit more. So a big thank you to my channel members who will be scrolling here. If you've got any questions or comments, do put them down below. Just give me the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll pop another video here and here with the subscribe button in the middle. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.